Hello, my tourist friends. I am Akbar.
He's a tour guide for a new adventure ride. This journey's gonna rock. Get ready for a shock.
In the late 1990s, theme park simulators were all the rage. From Disney's Star Tours to Universal's Back to the Future the Ride, high-tech motion rides promised thrilling, cinematic adventures. But at Busch Gardens, Tampa, a very different kind of simulator took flight, one held together by duct tape and desperation. This is the story of Akbar's Adventure Tours, a short-lived but beloved attraction where chaos reigned, nothing works properly, and two comedy legends, Martin Short and Eugene Levy, somehow got involved. Let's dive into the ridiculous ride that turned Egyptian tourism into full-blown slapstick.
Starring Martin Short.
He'll show you around the Sphinx.
He's still working out the kinks.
Only at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay.
So before we get stuck in, I just want to say thanks again to all of the new subscribers that have joined over the last few weeks. It's really great to see that those of you that are watching are getting something out of these videos. And I want to say a particular thank you to the subscriber on screen for today's topic suggestion. If there is a ride or a land or an attraction that you would like to see a video on, then why not pop that into the comments and you might just get a shout out. But anyway. In 1998, Busch Gardens Tampa was investing heavily in immersive theming. The newly expanded Egypt land offered a mix of thrill rides and ancient theming, and the park needed a family-friendly attraction to balance out its towering coasters. Questor was the current simulator ride at Busch Gardens, and despite it having not been there for too many years, it was already starting to show its age a little bit. And Busch Gardens leadership wanted to go in a different direction. Instead of copying the sleek, high-budget simulators of its competitors, Busch Gardens went in the opposite direction. It would parody the entire simulator genre. Enter Akbar's Adventure Tours, a deliberately low-budget, chaotic simulator ride that was meant to feel like it barely worked. The premise was simple. Guests were taking a sightseeing tour of Egypt with Akbar, a local entrepreneur who built his own simulator. And the twist? The tour and the simulator was falling apart before your very eyes. To bring Akbar's chaotic charm to life, the park brought in Martin Short, who played the titular Akbar with manic energy and wide-eyed optimism. Backing him up, or more accurately trying to stop him, was Eugene Levy as Stanford Wharton, a bureaucratic repo man sent to shut the entire operation down due to unpaid bills. Their on-screen chemistry gave the ride a real comedic core, with a tone that felt closer to sketch comedy than anything you'd expect in a theme park. Filmed in Los Angeles, the videos were heavy on improv, filmed with practical sets and leaned into visual gags. While Akbar's Adventure Tours was designed to look like a manufacturing death trap, the simulator system powering the chaos was anything but amateur. Behind the scenes, Busch Gardens Tampa contacted Reflectone, a well-known manufacturer, to bring Akbar's chaotic charm to life. Reflectone had built simulator platforms for a number of attractions around the world, and were known for their hydraulic motion bases capable of delivering precise pitch, roll and yaw. For Akbar's, the platform was programmed to feel like it was lurching wildly out of control, while still keeping guests perfectly safe. This meant using exaggerated motion profiles that mimicked instability and mechanical failure. The theatre was a single motion base with a mounted cabin. Think Wild Arctic or Star Tours. Surrounding the cabin was a projection screen that displayed the chaotic visuals of the ride that were rendered to match the story's homemade look. Audio was synced to the motion, with Martin Short's and Eugene Levy's performances broadcast through overhead speakers as alarms and explosions roared in the background. Though it looked slapdash, the ride had all the technical hallmarks of a professional simulator. Busch Gardens was never going to compete with Disney's budgets, but what it could offer was character, charm, and a sense that things were constantly 1 second away from disaster. So guests entered through the travel office of Akbar's tour company, complete with cluttered desks, flickering signage, and handmade safety posters. The whole place looked like it had been cobbled together overnight, which was kind of the point. The pre-show introduced Akbar, played by Martin Short, pitching his top-of-the-line tour. He promised unbeatable deals and an unforgettable ride. But almost immediately, Stanford Wharton barged in, threatening to repossess the equipment and shut it all down. Guests strapped into their seats as the screen filled with CGI pyramids, camels, and exploding sandstorms. The simulator jerked violently from side to side as everything that could go wrong did. After firstly meandering through the market streets, the tour took guests on a breakneck flight over Egypt, dodging collapsing ruins and possibly a mummy or two. It was a slapstick roller coaster, but eventually the simulator crash-landed back at base. The doors opened to stunned, smiling guests who'd just been through one of the strangest simulator rides ever built. It was chaotic, clunky and low-tech, but that was the joke, and for many fans, it worked beautifully. Despite modest marketing, Akbar's Adventure Tours quickly became a fan favourite. Guests appreciated its tongue-in-cheek humour, and theme park fans adored the fact that Busch Gardens was willing to poke fun at the simulator trend. But the attraction didn't have staying power. Not everyone got the joke. The low-capacity theatre and high-maintenance simulator hardware meant long downtimes and limited throughput. By the early 2000s, the ride was already operating seasonally, and by 2007, it quietly closed for good. After its closure, the ride building was reused for seasonal events, but Akbar himself never returned.
Oh, if you'd like to see all of Egypt in just 5 minutes, let me be your guide. That would be fun.
Today, Akbar's Adventure Tours lives on in the memories of those who were lucky enough to experience it. It was silly, scrappy and self-aware, everything most simulator rides weren't. In an era where theme park rides chase Ultra HD screens and billion-dollar IPs, Akbar was refreshingly weird. It may not have lasted long, but Akbar's Adventure Tours proved that even a homemade simulator, run by the worst travel agent in Egypt, could still deliver a world-class laugh. It's a ride that makes me wonder whether it'd even work today. I don't think this ride gets built. I don't think this ride even gets commissioned nowadays. It's a ride that I remember vividly as a kid. It was one of my family's favourite rides at Busch Gardens, and we used to loop going on this ride again and again and again. And there was never a queue. When it was open, which wasn't always, you could just walk straight onto it. But I can see why some people didn't enjoy it. It was very hectic, it threw you around a lot, and I guess perhaps some of the stereotypes in it probably haven't aged well. Maybe it is a little bit problematic in places. I do still get a lot of joy thinking about this ride though, and I can't deny that I found it very funny. It definitely wasn't advertised very well. You could easily walk past this ride and not know it was there. I think there were times when it was still open that I don't even remember it being on the park map. Drop down into the comments and let me know if you ever got to ride this ride. What are your memories of Akbar's Adventure Tours? And if there's a particular ride, attraction, show, land that you would like me to do a video of, then pop it in the comments. Please also hit that like button, it's incredibly helpful to me. And why not consider subscribing to the channel as well for more of these theme park attraction deep dives. Our growing community would love to have you here. But regardless, if these theme park deep dives interest you, why not check out this video next? Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you all take care.